What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MLG Studios here in New York City. I'm Axel Toss, joined by Axlav and Total Biscuit. Pointed him, Nick. No, wrong way. There it is. All right, so we're proceeding along, of course, in the festivities of today, which is, of course, our coverage of the qualifiers for the WCS America Premier League. Of course, we already have 24 players who are qualified or who are invited. And now we have 8 who are going to join them, or we're trying to find out who those 8 are going to be. We're covering that today, tomorrow, and over the week, so make sure you tune in every single day to see who qualifies. And right now we're about to jump into the STC versus Miya, showing Team Axiom a lot of love here today on the MLG stream, WCS stream, which I'm sure Total Biscuit is okay with.
I'm alright with that. I think I can handle it. It should be okay.
Well, you know, we're only showing Axiom so much love because
They're winning.
They keep winning. Like, we're like, who's left? Oh, it's Axiom 1. Oh, it's Axiom 2. Axiom.
Wait till they hear the last match we're gonna cast. I mean,
yeah.
As you can see, we have some super original MLG usernames for our players.
It's funny. You check out that bracket, and it's like, at first it's Axiom spread out, and then they all converge as the winner bracket narrows down.
It's awesome stuff. It's really good to see. Of course, Total Biscuit, I'm going to let you introduce these players. The first map is going to be Whirlwind in this best of 3.
Whirlwind. What a fantastic map for this particular game. This is going to be great. I can't see any other way around it. 2 of my favorite players competing in this particular event. Best of 3 series right here between the Zerg player in the southeast position of Whirlwind. He is in the red trunks, and he is, of course, from Korea. We are playing on the Korean servers. He is Axiom Miya versus his opponent up to the northwest position in the blue trunks, playing Terran, now of Team Complexity. It is the STC.
TVZ. Haven't had one of these in a while. Of course, we just saw a PVT between the Muslim and, of course, Oz. Oz taking the 2-1 there, so the Muslim will be knocked down to the lower bracket. Not out of it just yet. By the way, tomorrow we're going to be pretty much doing exclusively loser bracket coverage. So make sure you tune into that, guys, to see who's going to remain alive. Of course, you know, this is we're getting to the pretty important matches. We're getting closer and closer to finding out who's going to qualify. So, you know, I don't know how much nerves are going to be taken into effect. I know some of these Korean players might be a little bit tired at this point. I think, what is it? A little? 5 a.m.? 6 a.m. over there right now?
It's pretty crazy over there right now. I'd say that every Korean player is especially tired. Certainly the ones that competed in recent events like GSTL who haven't slept yet. They're pretty tired. I don't think nerves are really a factor now.
Sure.
Once you get that tired, your nerves just die. They give up. And at that point, you're just playing on pure adrenaline and skill alone, and you become a robot, a StarCraft playing death robot.
Isn't that what Koreans are anyway?
Yeah, well, sort of, yes, but every now and again the Koreans show some humanity and a little bit of mercy. But now, after like maybe 24 hours of not sleeping, oh no. These are the T-1000s of StarCraft right now.
Well, I hope we produce an epic game, a best of 3 that lasts 3 hours.
That would be great for us, lousy for the players.
I'm sure they'd have a little bit of fun. Maybe an hour, and they'll be like, all right, is this really happening?
Yeah, can we just stop? I mean, and Whirlwind as well is a map that can turn into a pretty lengthy one. So I think the only map that does worse than that is probably Newkirk, since it has that tendency to be split down the middle and then turn into 1 hour, 30-minute TVZs.
I heard you had a match that you casted there at the championship event. Between
that will go down in history.
I think there were 2 actually. Did you cast
Killer? Was he casting both of those?
Did you cast Killer Thorzane as well?
I didn't cast Killer Thorzane, no, and for that I can be forever thankful. that was a silly match, but yeah, you're talking about Gozu User Bomber, which was the longest game I believe in MLG recorded history for StarCraft 2.
Wow. That's awesome. If anyone watching missed it, it's available on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/official MLGSC2. Go check it out. Always fun to see those games, of course. You know, leading into this game, looking at the openings, we got 2 command centers already on the ground here from the, well, an additional command center on the ground here from the STC. Going up to factory, tacking on a reactor. That factory going to be making some Hellions. 2 Marines getting assaulted by Zerglings, but, oh, actually, 1 going to die. Hellions popping out, though.
Hellions are out.
See you later.
All right, so STC's build here is basically a carbon copy of what we've been seeing from Lucifron lately. It is a highly effective Hellbat attack. The timing of the armory can't really mean anything else. and the starport is coming down to make that happen. This is a very dangerous attack, and there are very few people that can defend it well.
I was watching Maru Prime. Has really been using this a lot. I saw him using it in the GSL, and man, did it look fearsome.
Got the Hellion.
It's just ridiculous. It is very, very powerful. You open up with a couple of Hellions for harassment, and then you go Hellbat. You don't use transformation servos because most players don't believe that's actually worth the gas and the use of the tech lab to actually build it. Now, the initial Hellion's pretty well defended there. STC's killed 2 workers total, but it's this Hellbat drop. The funny thing is that he actually isn't building the Hellbats now. He's building more Hellions and then going into the Hellbats. So what he can do is he can pressure the natural with the Hellions while dropping the main with the Hellbats. It's horrendous. It's a very dangerous attack.
One thing, if he gets 2 medevacs, he could even do a double drop. What's really cool is the Hellbats, the way the AoE works, the drones kind of have to just run straight away. And when they all run, they line up. So if you can combine Hellbats and Hellions, sometimes it's extra drone deaths.
Yes, absolutely. Interestingly, a Viking following up here for the STC, so he's not going to be doing the 2 medevac drop, just the 1. The Viking will be great because he'll be able to start pushing back those overlords and just being generally annoying. And this is what it comes down to. Can Miya defend this without taking too much damage? Because the investment in Hellbats is actually quite significant. Building the armory that early, getting the starport up that early, it's costly. You've got to do something. You've got to do the damage. Otherwise, the Zerg tends to run away with it. So let's see. There's no attempt to take a third base
static
yet
D.
by
This
Miya.
has definitely not been seen. The Hellbat's going to start being dropped there in the natural expansion. Drone's not running just yet. Just now, going to be scurrying out of there. Of course, the Hellbats can be picked back up into the medevac. But the Hellions coming in. This is what we talked about. Those Hellions trying to get those kills onto those drones. And a lot of kills indeed. I think Mia's doing a decent job here, maybe.
It's not a bad defense. We'll see in a second. I mean, there's been 16 work. Oh, down goes the medevac as well. And the Queen Heavy approach is a good way to deal with this. It has slowed down Miya significantly. Is it a killing blow? No, it's not. And I imagine that he would have wanted more damage with it, but it was still good. Don't get me wrong, and that's put Miya in a position where he's now playing from behind, although not by as much as STC would have liked.
Overall, I don't think that was too terrible. I mean, if we're thinking about the cost that went into that for the STC, you got the 4 Hellions, you got the early armory, the Hellbats, you got the medevac versus 16 workers, and we're looking at units lost 1156 to 1050 in favor of the Terran. So not too drastic at all, and I don't think anyone's won this game just yet by any means, but Miya definitely slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, and that's good. It's definitely a good thing indeed. You know what the worst thing about that build is? That if you want to transition to bio after it, your upgrades are so slow because you build an armory instead of an engineering bay. And you obviously spend a lot of gas to get that armory in the first place. You spend the gas to get the starport, the gas to get the actual medevac, and then it's like, oh yeah, I haven't started +1 yet, and it's more than 10 minutes into the game. So that can be really awkward for you.
All right, we'll have to see where STC goes from here. Loaded up another drop. You can put Hellbats in there?
Nope. No. That would actually be the worst thing ever. Like, David Kim would need to actually be kidnapped and beaten into submission if he thought that was a good idea. Thankfully, he doesn't. Anyway, the STC is going for a double drop now, going to be bio-heavy this time around, and the risk for Miya is that he decides to push out here and moves the roaches away, which would be pretty devastating. But it looks like he spotted this coming in because his roaches are now moving back.
He had a slowling, I think, that just caught the medevac.
Slowling's a hero.
Yeah.
It'll be remembered for this because the Roach is now moving into position to try and deal with it. Stim goes forward there to deal with that creep tumor, but I don't see this doing a huge amount of damage, especially not with the static defense and the Queen here.
He can just pick up and jet out of there if he wants, but actually get some Roach kills.
Yep.
That's not terrible trades. Marines, you can get those dime a dozen.
Yeah, very, very true.
600
he loses
minerals
like
a
a
dozen.
medevac's worth of units.
Yeah, a dozen.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
It's an expression.
Oh, you got it.
Can you two, like, take that to a separate room if you want to have a look at stiff? We're trying to get StarCraft 2 here. What the hell is going on? STC now going with the push, and he's got some Hellbats in the mix here as well. His army's pretty small, but Miya's obviously isn't that big either. He's trying to take that third base, and he's surged a lot of drones out. And right now he's using mostly roaches. He is adding some infestors into the mix. I love that idea, especially against a Bioforce that has Hellbats in it, because what is more clumpy than Bio Hellbat?
don't know.
Not too much.
Nothing is more clumpy than Wire Hellbat.
The Hellbats at least have a fairly large Kalitin size, so you know they won't pack in quite as much. But the Marines especially, if you can land those muddy fungals on the Marines, but you have to have something follow it up, or else the Medivacs are just going to heal up all that damage.
Trying to get more roaches on the field here. Some speedlings coming in here as well. The fungals are tried and true. 2 infestors might get taken out. Yes, they are. The STC charging into his opponent's natural expansion, and Miya just doesn't have an answer just yet. Trying to get a bunch of roaches on the field. Another infestor in production, but STC is charging into the natural. He has intentions of winning this game for sure, right here.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job of it as well. These drones are going to get absolutely roasted by the Hellbats, and the infestation pit's going down as well. If he'd had more infestors, he probably could have made that an entirely different fight, but he didn't, and he's very likely to lose at this stage. STC is showing no signs of moving anywhere. Roaches are coming in piecemeal to try and defend it. The natural hatch has just gone down, and there's the GG, and the STC crashes through in that first game.
Wow, very nicely played there from the STC, of course, starting it off with you know, the Hellbat play, the Hellion play, first of all, into the Hellbat drop, and then, of course, just adding on those barracks, just getting a powerful push together, adding on those Hellbats into the front of that main bio composition, and Miya just didn't have an answer. He had 2 infestors, had some decent fungals, but again, Nick, you're talking about the follow-up that is necessary, that you got to have those units close by, a bunch of lings and roaches, but STC just had too much, and Miya just didn't have enough.
Yeah, and I mean, it was probably mostly due to the damage done from that initial drop. 16 drones, that's a lot of drones to lose. You can't really, I mean, you're so busy replacing those, you can't get the army up. Couldn't afford to get that baiting nest up in time. I think it was only halfway done. And really, if you can combine baitings and fungals, that is what gets really tears apart those Terran armies.
Yeah, with no area of effect against that kind of army, roaches are never going to be enough to deal with that. They just don't trade cost efficiently. They get killed too quickly by marauders. They get stuck in Hellbat fire. They need something else to be mixed in there, and he didn't have it. It's as simple as that. The fungals were pretty good, but he didn't have enough infestors out to turn that into an actual kill rather than just merely delaying his opponent.
And, of course, STC doing a great job actually killing the infestors, targeting those down. Of course, they might have been a little bit vulnerable, but STC taking game 1 in this best of 3. Miya has some work to do. He has to win 2 in a row to advance to the next round of the winner's bracket. If he loses this next game, he'll be dropping down to the lower bracket. We'll see what happens, guys. Stay tuned. Game 2 coming up.